Hi, and welcome to another episode of Eme Amina. And on this vlog, I'm going to be wrapping up my Candidly Nigeria Candidly. It's been weeks of going on and on the issues happening in Nigeria, how it's affecting lives, including mine. And yeah, right now the case is in court. It was actually easy to predict the outcome that this was going to happen. Every Nigerian had a prediction about this scenario. A lot of people chose to be optimistic, including myself, that there are going to be more people who would have had the right mindset to actually fight for the right things. Now, Nigeria has been affected by a lot of things, including the corruption and just people trying to benefit from this corruption. It's just been a terrible roller coaster affecting masses in the negative. So at this point, you have to ask yourself, if you're a Nigerian, where do you want your life to head from here? And where do you want the lives of your kids to head on from here on out? As for me, I'd made a choice so many years ago when I understood this, like the issues, the challenges, the problems, the sins, the evils of the mindsets, the predominant mindset affecting Nigerians, masses of Nigerians. I've been affected in my own life, being exposed to all of this, and I made a choice for myself to not continue in that. What choice are you going to make? So holding on to integrity has become the go-to for me, and it's what I would highly recommend. Apart from that, is standing up for what is right, for the values that I believe in. See, everyone is looking out for themselves, myself, you, and the politicians, and every other person involved in this, including external people, observers, other nations, are all looking out for themselves. Whoever is benefiting from whatever is happening in Nigeria, they're looking out for themselves. So what choice are you going to make? If you know this is the fact, what choice are you going to make? Since you now know that your government is looking out for themselves, the people you're putting in power are looking out for themselves, why wouldn't you hold them to account, to be accountable, to ensure that their interests are the interests of the majority of Nigerians, will serve Nigerians in the short term and in the long run, particularly. So you have to decide that if you are going to support whatever is going on, or whatever is the possibility, whatever is possible, it has to be productive, it has to be fruitful, it has to serve you, indeed, your children, the masses. Because where are you going to go to? Not everyone will have the opportunity to look the other way, to exit the situation. And even those who have exited temporarily are aching wherever they are, and are aching to come back home. So we all owe it to ourselves to decide to make the right choices. And the time is now. And for the concluding part of this video, is going to talk about really that the real people who would be willing to fight for what is necessary for change are really not there right now. Perhaps we don't have enough caliber of people, whether in the positions of authority and as the lay masses, who are at the point in their lives where they are willing to fight for what is right. And if that is not true, then ask yourself, are you willing to fight for what is right? Well, for me, the answer is yes. I am willing to fight for what is right. And I have made my choice. And when you go through this video, you are going to see me explain that clearly. And I'm encouraging you and everyone who somehow found this video, it might not be a coincidence, to please consider what it is you're going to do, or what it is you're doing to help liberate Nigerians, or if you're in Nigeria, to help liberate yourself as a Nigerian from the current situation. And the time to act is now. And I hope you do so. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
everybody in life, we have about 8 point something billion people living in the world today. Everybody is motivated by the quest for what we call utopia. Utopia means good life, perfect country. Everybody wants a perfect country. Everybody is looking for a perfect country. 8 point something billion people in the world today. Every single one of them is motivated by their quest for utopia. And our government cannot guarantee that simple utopia. There is no security of lives and property. People can be walking on the street, and the next thing is that they have been kidnapped, and the next thing is that somebody is calling the members of their family, requesting for a humongous amount of money before they can release this person.
And let's not talk about our transportation to different intrastate transportation, that you can just be attacked by bandits. And the same demands can also occur, kidnapping.
And so people feel agitated. If instead of me to stay back in Nigeria and lose my life, it's better I travel, to Libya and
greener pastures.
Take a shot, by trying, to find a way to cross to Europe. Whether I die, I die. After all, if you remain back, you may still die. So what is the cause of? Why would I stay back?
So it's more like he who is low need fear no fall. He who is down need fear no fall.
That is the problem.
So it is fair to say that they are innocent Nigerians who just want a chance to live a decent life.
Nigerians are not bad people. I've said it before. Nigerians are great people. Nigerians are, wonderful people. The problem we have, with Nigerians today is because we are like, a boy or a man who was raised from a bad parentage. That is our problem. If you give Nigerians a good government, you will get good Nigerians anywhere. In fact, many people, let me tell you this, I'm here in Canada today and I'm talking to you. I've spoken to countless number of people in Canada who want to return back to Nigeria if only we can have a good leader. Let me be sincere to you. I have to be specific. I have a lot of people in Nigeria currently who want to leave the shores of our country because they feel like, the man that they expected to win the election did not win. Many people want to live in Nigeria today more than, in the past 3 or 4 months ago, because the person that they expected, the person they voted for, did not win the election, and they now want to leave. I have a friend, a very close friend of mine, who is married to a banker, and they are well-to-do. They are doing very well. The wife is a bank manager who has refused to travel out abroad to go and live in abroad for anything. But prior to the election, I visited his family, and the husband is a lawyer. He told me, he confided in me. He said that his wife, who has refused in the past to leave the shores of the nation, has said that if this president, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, fails to win the presidential election, that she is ready now to relocate and leave the shores of the country. Many people want to leave Nigeria because the man that they have so much confidence and trust in did not win the election. And that tells you that our problem is leadership.
It's even sad that we use the word win the election, because if it was a free and fair election, from the polls, from the results that were coming in, even from those who legitimately kept the results properly, the real actual result shows proof that the results were rigged. And if the results weren't rigged, the Labour Party actually won that presidential election. So when you now say did not win, that means he was cheated out of it, not that he did not win.
Let me. I am scarce in choosing my words, because this is this matter is in court. It's sub judice, So when a matter is in court, you have to choose your words. I would say that according to INEC, let me paraphrase that. According to INEC, he did not win.
Did not win. Okay, according to INEC.
But the judge, the Supreme Court will now have to decide whether INEC was right or not.
Whether INEC was compromised.
Yes, or whether they are compromised.
So
that is the situation on ground.
But and because how it has really affected the society and made the society look, in before our children, our youths, who for the first time believe that something positive can actually happen, came out in mass to, fight for a better future for themselves, where they feel they have not gotten that from the elders or their leaders, so that was a very serious thing to have happened. Now that brings me to my next point, because this has been going on for such a long time. Is there anything in the society, in our culture, that enables this type of situation to continue to happen? Because I as you were speaking, I could not help thinking of how I give a lot of respect to people who are older than me, even if it's a year or 2 years, and even when I see them doing the very wrong things, I desist from correcting them, because I feel, or I know based on experience from secondary school, that they are going to come do mean things to you, even when they know they shouldn't. You get? They are going to come down on you in a very mean way. Even when you are standing up, you're saying the right thing, or you're standing up for your right. What is it in the society? Because if you would ask me, I would say that is it. We are taught to respect our elders, but I think it has gone to a point whereby we give them, we tolerate their injustice, the unfair things, the wrong things they do, the evil they do, or we give them way because we fear the evil that they will do to us. Do you understand that it's worse than just allowing them to have their way? So what would you say is the reason? Because that's what I would say the number one reason why the NSAS started, but they saw this, they were stopped, and they never proceeded because they feared that even worse evil would happen to them, and nobody would come to their rescue.
Well, I have heard a lot of people in Nigeria that say that the only solution we have, for that country right now is revolution. But in the same vein, I don't think that we have reached that maturity to carry out a revolution. But honestly speaking, if you ask me, that is the only solution that should be at the table if actually we want to take back our country. Because an average Nigerian is very scared. Nobody wants to die. And we forget that these people we see as great Africans, those Pan-Africanists, they were all, people who became, known and famous as a result of struggle. People like Great Mandela, Nanda Zikiwe, Awolowo, Kwame Nkrumah. There are many of them in Africa, who became famous as a result of their perceived, struggle against injustice, against, the white colonialists. So, and that opportunity has presented itself in Nigeria, but nobody wants to seize that opportunity. So everybody is coward. Everybody is afraid. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody's afraid that everybody's afraid. In short, everybody's afraid that if they talk, they will die. So we don't have that special breed of people who looked at injustice in the face and said, no, you are an injustice, and it's better I die than to live with you.
Yeah, that reminds me, I had an issue that we worked together. You tried to assist me all the way from South Africa, and it was a serious issue of injustice. And even if I was hoping that the legal system eventually would do the right thing, but even the legal system that
was brought in from a very compromised way in the beginning, so that frightened me and gave me a lot of anxieties and all of that. So I learned a lot from that, and I can imagine what's going on right now, because that opened my eye. If I didn't have that experience, I would have been very hopeful for, oh, the matter is in court, Nigerian legal system, it will work. But I know how compromised the legal system is, and how so many things play in, like you say, somebody knows somebody, the power, the authorities, corrupt authorities, and all of that. Whether they use people corrupt in the military and the paramilitary, that also come in to give support to all these systems, put in place. And you, as a lay person, an ordinary person, seeking justice or justification, just a fair and justified closure on a very unjust matter, might never get it, and feel so hopeless to just decide, I need to leave. This cannot work. For me, I feel that is it. It became clear to me that this is the kind of society we live in. And even though there are people like myself who believe strongly in integrity, who are even ready to fight for justice and to bring an unjust matter to a justified conclusion, we have other challenges. Like I had my son over in Canada who needed me, and I found that certain things were taking my attention away and my life away, pretty much. And my son needs me, and I'm a single mother. I couldn't do that. It started affecting even my health. I was heavily depressed. I was almost unable to function. I got to that point, where I had to just come over, see my son, and that was the only thing I could do, and begin again from there, making the best choices I could make for myself. So this is my own unique situation, which I hope I include. I just talked about at the beginning of this. And I know that I am not the only one in the face of the earth in Nigeria who has some form of good values, who believe in it and ready to fight for it, but cannot. They find their hands tied one way or the other, cannot do that, and will choose immigration as the better solution, because they have to be available to just continue life in peace and sanity, in good health, in peace, and make some progress from where they are. So I don't know, what was your own story? Why did you leave Nigeria?
Well, the reason why I left Nigeria is the very same thing I've been talking about here, which is a quest for the pursuit of happiness. Everybody in this world today is pursuing one thing: happiness.
Yeah.
Happiness. The reason why a man will leave his father and mother to cleave unto his wife is because he wants to be happy.
Yeah.
You want to get married, you are pursuing happiness. You want to move from the rural area to an urban area, you are pursuing happiness. You want to travel from your country to another country, is because you're pursuing the same thing, happiness. So I believe that it is the duty, in fact, if it is the paramount duty of every government to at least guarantee a certain percentage of happiness to the people, to the citizens of that country. And having seen that the country I come from, failed to, guarantee at least a certain percentage of happiness to me, I had to make a leave. I had to, leave my country and travel to South Africa to, pursue my quest for happiness. I will tell you this. while I was in Nigeria after my secondary school era, I wanted to become a lawyer. I wanted to study law. So I wrote JAMB several times, trying to, gain admission to study law. But each time I wrote, I was never accepted because they would tell you that your score is this and that. So, but when I went to South Africa in the struggle for about 1 or 2 years, I had to enroll in the University of South Africa. And there was no JAMB. You see, the government made it so easy that if you are qualified for bachelor, you should go for it. So I applied and I got admission. The first time I got admission was for me to do management accounting. But I did financial accounting in IMT Enugu. So, but when I got to South Africa, I got admission to do management accounting. Then I did it for 1 year and 6 months. One day I woke up and I said, well, I did this while I was in Nigeria. Why would I still be doing it again? So I said, it's better I now switch over to do law, which has been my dream right from time immemorial. And that was how I switched. There was no JAMB taken, and so I strongly believe that the system we have in Nigeria is an occultic system. So that is what is happening in Nigeria today. We have a very occultic system that is rigged against the citizens of our nation. But the political class, they have the money. They are ready to spend anything to send their children abroad where the occultic system does not exist. Because the moment they send their children to Canada, United States of America, or UK, those children will study their dream course. Because they will not find that occultic system there. So the system that they send their children is liberalized. But our own system in Nigeria is not liberalized. So if you are a child of a poor person, you will not get admission to study what you want to study and become what you want to become in Nigeria. That's the problem we have in Nigeria. That's the reason why I left. And I thank God that I even left, because if I had not left, I wouldn't have become a lawyer that I've dreamed to be today.
And a successful one at that.
Amen.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it a lot. I just hope that this would really help in shedding more light on the immigration issue, and I hope that it would also touch the hearts of a lot of people who come across Nigerians every day abroad to be compassionate, when you find a Nigerian, if you know a Nigerian, so you know the hard past they are coming from and the reality that they had to live and face every day, and it's just a section of it that we've been able to shed some light on. We have not even gone into this later part which talk about occultism. There is a very serious occultic issue or problem in Nigeria where people really shed blood, and it's also related to the kidnapping issue in Nigeria, where they kidnap people and a lot of them are killed, murdered for their body parts, which are traded to people. There's a big market for that, and for whatever reasons they buy these products, most of them use them, as we know or as we learned, for occultic reasons. So there's that other part which we cannot even go into because we have not enough information to even go into all of that. But hopefully you'll come across this video and you would be able to understand the real problem and what is really happening in Nigeria, and are Nigerians bad people, so that when you meet a Nigerian, your conclusions guide you when you treat or meet, as you treat another Nigerian, or when you meet another Nigerian tomorrow, recognizing that they have come from very bad past, that they also need your love and support as they try to navigate their way and find some home, some solace somewhere else. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sure.